Lesson 10. Here's a look at what we're going to have as the final product of this lesson. In particular, we have put in a new restaurant piece of information. We've got some new videos, just examples. These are all things that were generated out through our content management system. So you will see the end result of what our form that we've been working on will eventually put out. It's something that we can literally just plug right into this. And as you can see, it's mobile friendly. These are just examples, obviously. So we'll keep working on these, but this will give you an opportunity to see, here's the blog. And you can plug any blog in you want. Your media and your images, your videos, maps, what have you. Let's go ahead and get started. And I'm going to go ahead and develop something that's surefire way to make sure that if there is no blog present within our data, no blog address, I don't want the blog section to show up. So as you can see here, I'm asking it outright, if the length of blog is 0, then let's just go ahead and hide that section. And that way it won't be confusing and you won't have to turn something on or off. If you put something in there, I think this is the way I'd like to handle everything when it comes to our events and our carousels for our images. I'd also like this to be what happens with if we don't have images or videos. Okay, so we'll get started here. And this here we're walking through where we left off last time. I'm taking out the blog address and I'm going to see what happens when there's no blog there. And we'll go ahead and let this thing render. It's going to take a few minutes to deploy. And give it a few seconds. Okay, so it's still grabbing it for some reason. Yeah, it's still grabbing it. So let's go find out why real quick. It has the address still in there somewhere to go look for it. And so we'll look for the view posts. We'll look for the place where it's getting that. Oh, we're looking in the wrong spot. So let's just go ahead and do config active video and then blog. That's where we're looking. That is where we need to be, folks. So if that is 0, then from there we know there's no blog. And then we'll go ahead and test this again. And just name it 2. Yeah. Okay, so it didn't go anywhere. But it's still showing, so we've got that to fix real quick. Now, let's go ahead and what's going on here is we've got the error message up, and it is running a test, and so it stops everything. So let's go back here and take a closer look at what needs to be hidden and why it's still calling out. Well, we don't even want to make the call if there's nothing there. That's kind of what I'm getting at. So here we are making the call anyway to something we don't have, and that'll cause a 500 error. So we want to take that and just bring it all the way over to where we make that call. And just cut this part. There. And here we'll do it before we even make the call. That is causing an error. And if it isn't, then we'll just do a try catch and he'll grab it. So if we don't have one, we won't do anything. Yeah, see it keeps stopping because it comes across an error and it's doing a check By default, Chrome is doing a JavaScript checks, and so if it comes across anything, it stops. So I'm going to go ahead and put the blog address in there. We want to see if this works. Go ahead and do our build. Still building. Okay, we're done. Let's do a reload. And this one should be here. Correct. That's there, and that's correct. And yeah, the reason the page is spinning is because of the YouTube, and I'm running the JavaScript is playing a check, is running a check, and so it stops at YouTube. But it won't stop me from getting to my blog. So I'm going to come through here. The blog works. Everything's going good. YouTube's working. So we just did an incognito window to make sure that we could play this. All right. So when there's no blog, nothing will show. And if there is a blog, then the blog section will show. Now, let's go ahead and run some tests. Make sure the delete works, and let's test out the main nav links. We want to make sure that those are deleting correctly, and it doesn't look like they are. So we want to make sure that they get built the first time correctly and the second time, because once you edit them, it rewrites it, and we want to make sure that it gets rewritten correctly. And every time you delete one, it has to rewrite the list again, and that's where it was messing up. The second time was good, the first time was bad, or vice versa. And so we just need to get the syntax correct so that it knows where the quotes are around the actual link name. Yeah. See, we've got a problem with the delete item, and it's right here. What we need to probably do, like the check mark, and kind of get this. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and clear this out and make this a little better and easier to read for our JavaScript, so it knows what exactly our variables are, and it knows where the string is closing and opening. It's a little easier for the JavaScript for us here. And I want to take this and utilize it. Like I said, it builds twice. Once when you build it the first time, and then when you edit it or delete it, it has to write it again, and I want to make sure they're both working. And right now I've only got one working. So I need to copy this one and bring it down to that other spot where it builds initially. And we got it on 197. It's still coming through correctly. Yeah, there's our problem. You see that space in between in front of the zero with the quotes? That's a mess. And the thing is, it's correct here. It's just not at the other spot it's been being written. And it'll occur to me in a second. See, this is the other spot. After it's been edited, it's writing it again. And that's why it doesn't look like it does here. Right. And here it is again. So I'm just going to copy that and then make sure that it's the same down where it gets initially created. Now we've got it. Now it'll work. Yes, no errors now. It'll delete correctly. We just need to get that quote working. So let's go test them all, and let's go make some new data for a new restaurant. I'm going to run through all these input fields and build arrays. Cool. There's a couple images. The delete's working. That's good. Let's make some events. Just make a couple of them. And they're not specific to, timestamp, any kind of anything. You just write in whatever you want. That seems to be working. You can write and delete something. So the events is working. And let's just see if social media will work for us as well. So that worked. And we can always grab more. I know that there's a TikTok one. It's just for some reason it's not working here. I think it's because I'm using Font Awesome 6. So yeah, I end up, you're gonna have to find whatever TikTok is for Font Awesome 5.82. But they all have them. So we'll go ahead and hunt down some more icons for us. Yeah, we'll create a wrench and make up something. There we go. All right, now we're gonna have to make the edits for the social media as well, since we didn't have that before. And like I said, it's gonna be the same thing where we're gonna need to edit out the thing that was deleted, and then we'll build that new string based on the new object that was created after we took out. So we're gonna push all these to temp object, except for the one that was selected from social media. And then down here, we're going to build out the new list once we have that item out. And so we'll just keep working. Make some new icons. Yeah, these are all free. That's why it doesn't say Pro on them. There we go. So that works pretty good. You can just put whatever icon you want. Yeah, we're going to be going from temp object this time, though. That's going to be the thing that we're going to need to go off of, since we just made the temp object with the new data. Yeah. And we'll just put another one in here for fun. Just got to get the class, the link, and the name. All right. That looks correct. Make sure that it's not a string. It's got to be a number to be comparable. I'm going to clear that target out so we can write a new one. And here, obviously, we're going to make the new social media object in the temp restaurant, the new whatever temp object is, if we go through this route. Anyway, we'll go back through, and when we need to build these out, we need to have the iteration as opposed to the active restaurant. And we're only going through temp object, so then none of this complication needs to be there. We'll shrink this down to just going through temp object, because that's where we edited to, as we put our list to. And we're not using the params anymore, so I'm going to take this part out as well. This was from another page where we got this originally, so we can take that out. All right, let's see if this works. We can get a couple of them going here. Yeah, it's not working just yet, so we'll figure out why. JavaScript is stopping everything once an error shows up. And it's probably just something small. Let me go find out what it is. Yeah, so we didn't do the changeover here to temp object. And we'll try it again we want to build two of them up and then delete one at least. See, make sure the delete works. No, not yet. Almost. We're going to keep trying here. All right, we'll try one more time. We got that one. Oh, I see what's going on. Yeah. There we go. These need to be named accordingly. All right, let's try this again. A lot of trial and error, but we'll get it. All right, so the delete's now working. Okay, great. That's good. So here I'm just going to put a target to where I want this stringified JSON to show up so I can copy and paste it. Now, this isn't the end result just yet, but I do want to show you where this could actually punch out the code you want and you just paste it right in. So we'll walk through that. And let's do some comments to separate out our functionality. And let's go ahead and do a submit a restaurant, which is, now keep in mind we've already built in this process all the arrays, all the complicated stuff. So now we're just going to get the fields that are single values, a single string, not arrays, not objects. And so we're just going to follow out that and combine it into the temp restaurant object. And so let's go ahead and get that started with those single value contents. And here they are. Here's a whole list of them. These are the ones we got to fill out. So I'll just walk through this model. And we'll make sure that whatever the key and value is, we've got to match them up with the input field name value. So we'll validate each one of the fields as well to make sure there's something in there. Otherwise, we'll stop it. But otherwise, we're going to go right through and get everything that's a string here and find out where they're going to get their value within the input fields. And then that's going to be it. We're going to go ahead and put these together, and we'll output the object in a string fashion so we can copy it. So let's just walk through all of our fields and get the names that apply correctly to our pieces of content. And we're going to have to match them. If we find that, as you can see here, I didn't have something for Google ID, so we'll go ahead and put that in here. Yeah, and that's going to have to be validated as well. And let's keep on going, which comes, we're going to have a value for that select menu of the theme. And here we are within validate. We want to make sure that default is something within the select field. That means that we didn't get a value for it as well within the select drop-down menu. So if it says nothing or it says default, we got to stop it and create an error. All right, and our next one will be the about. Now the about one I think I like, but I'm also going to put another one in here called like home page text or something that will be similar to the about. And the about is going to be a text area, so just a little side note, not an input field or a text input field. Blog address is going to be another one. That field is going to be checked to see if there's something in there. No, I'm going to have to come back and make sure, because you're not going to require a blog, so I might just take this one out for being required. If you don't have one, it just won't show up. So that's that. So yeah, I will have to come back around and fix that. And let's go ahead and keep going. We need address, phone, email, and those are all single value things within text input fields. So let's go ahead and start creating those values out of whatever somebody typed in the input field. Let's go down one at a time. And if there's any error at all, we'll stop this. That'll mean the validation found in one of the fields that wasn't filled, and then so we'll stop it and we'll put out this error form, this error alert box, and then return false. So it won't go any further. And then we'll put these in there. Yeah. There you go. That's where we'll get the field value for Google ID, restaurant name, and the API address. That's going to be for your menu. And the theme, it's going to be from the select menu. Obviously, the address, phone, and email will be coming in from these. See these values. Yeah, let's keep going down. There we go. And the other, like I said, the arrays will all be put in there already, if we had any. Well, I'm just gonna. We don't have the spot for the logo HTML just yet, so I'm gonna build that. Yeah, so we'll do a text area for the logo because there's going to be quite a bit of stuff there. And we'll put that in the field, and we'll also put it in the object to be expected. And here we'll tally that up to where the value comes from by using this text area value. All right, let's just start filling this out. Just come up with a name. Okay. Obviously, I'll have to put something in there. Just copy what we have. That Google Maps credentials is not going to work, obviously. I'll have to come back around and copy it. Let's go ahead and make some of those nav links. We can pick some images, and we'll put in the theme. We'll put in the about within the text area. And let's grab some icons. And let's get some images. Yeah, some more images. These are all from like Google Images. So I just made them so they're shareable files. I'll put in some YouTube like movie IDs to make it fit. Yeah, I'm just going to grab the ID, the V equals up there in their URL. And then, as you can see, when I put them in, it'll grab the icon directly from YouTube. So, grab this one's ID as well. Go back. Let it know that I'm going to put in another YouTube ID. So now I've got 2 of those and 2 images and 2 movies. Let's type in a little bit of heading for HTML's content. There we go. And then I'll put in an address. Yeah, okay, so we got an address. That'll show up on a map down here. Now let's build out some events. I'll just make a couple of events. I don't want to have just one. And you saw the end product. It probably looks like we use even a couple more. Otherwise, it looks kind of empty. So there's one event added. Add another one. Okay, so let's go ahead and generate out everything of these objects. Let's grab an address from Dallas Cowboys Stadium as an example. And I think that and symbol is going to be trouble. Like, that's just how Google Maps works. So as I fill these out, I'm putting in an address, an email, a phone number, all that stuff. I put in a blog address with an RSS XML. Let's go ahead and put in a little bit of social media icons. And this one's pretty cool. So once again, we put the URL of whatever we're trying to put as social media. Then we put the class in, and we put the title. And here's the generated XML that I need. So I do a copy once this is all generated. Then I go over to the config within the local data and just put a comma and then put my new data in. And that should be it. Now I'm just going to separate it out so we can read it legibly. As you can see, it just needs a little work. It's because I copy and pasted it for now. But in the future, we'll even fix this. We don't have to do this either. But yeah, once I'm separating it out, it gets more legible. And this is what I copy and pasted in from what we just generated. Just building out another JSON object upon a JSON object. So there's two of them within this object. Now we're going to do restaurant one. Number 1 is now active instead of 0. Let's go get a new icon. Put that in the logo HTML because it didn't show up. So I'll have to fix that too. Oh, it's not a text area, I guess. Yeah, it is a text area. Because it's going to be quite a bit of information in there. And here's the... Oh, we got to change the active. Active restaurants 1. And those are hard-coded in. So I got to switch all those from 0 to active restaurant. Because that's where it was all over functionality. It was just really stuck in 0. So there you go. Now you can see that the content in this one. That's the content I put together. Now remember the map, I did not put in Google's ID. So we're going to have to change that to whatever my ID was that I registered for my credentials. Yeah, I'll just put in, because I have 4 pages existing, so I might as well. Why not, Granted, it has a map on it too, so we got to fix that. And locally here, we're running it so the blog won't show up, because I'm running it from a specific spot. Just want to tweak that logo a little bit so I can see it better. There it is. Text dark means I can see it better. Okay, so let's go modify the JSON data directly to get what we want. We need to get that Google ID going. Let's put in some real text. I'm going to use paragraph tag, and then I pasted this in from Wikipedia. It's just a definition of winery. And then now you can see it looks a little more professional. I'm going to start playing around with a few other things, and maybe get an image or two in there just to show you how to work with the HTML. And here's how I would put a heading in. Then I'm going to wrap it in a div and adjust everything to the left. And then I'll just put in another heading for now. I'm just playing around to show you what you can do within your content management system. You can put in images as well. And I'm going to be putting in some images from my Google Photos. You just have to make sure that they have shareable links. So here I go with an image thumbnail. And I'm going to get that class working so it looks a certain way. And I'll get this image address and slap it in there and show you the results of how easy it is to put an image in there. There you go. There's just as easy as you thought. Just the address and then paste it in there with the right class and it is visible. Okay. I just want to change this image around a little bit. These are pretty standard. And then I think I eventually just get rid of all this, and then I come in with I size the image the way I want it, and then I actually access it instead. So this is accessing and changing something within the code, so it still downloads the big photo. And I would not recommend doing that because it downloads a big photo even though it doesn't show it. See, it's still a big photo. We just rendered the small part of it. So what I would do for the most part in the future is if you have access to the photo, I would shrink it down to the size you want. And that would make more sense. Now, you can use some software that will help you do that. Like Microsoft has one that will size up images on request within the data. And that would be helpful too. So here's some more content that I just threw in there. Just want to show you what we can do. And I think I'm kind of messing with it. Do I want it to the left or do I want it center? So you can always change that up. And I'm just going to cut that back a little bit for right now. And let's go ahead and see what I came up with after I was messing around with all these. This is what I came up with. It's just a picture I took when I was out kayaking. Here's the blog that I've imported in. Works fine. There's the videos and the images I imported in and some HTML for a map. Yeah, so it looks like to be working. We've got the menu working. Now I'm going to change out the menu to have a little less information about the ingredients and more about the price. Here's our contact page. So yeah, it seems to all be swapped out. And it looks like our mobile works just fine. Works real well here as well. It scrolls us down where we need to be. You can see the events is working. Obviously, my posts are showing up really fast, and all my videos too. So all my images. Great. So I hope you're learning something. We'll see you next time. Thanks.